Mic check 1 2 2 2.
Mic check 1 1 2 2.
Okay, that's that DJ voice right there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, wow. Hey, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to another One Love Entertainment podcast. I'm your host, Tip Williams. And again, I thank you for tuning in. We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tip Williams, One Love Entertainment Pod. Please subscribe, Let's get those numbers up, peoples. Let's get those numbers up. Before I introduce our special guest real quick, I just want to put in the air that I lost a homie, a ride or die, a bestie, my DJ, DJ Under, passed away over the weekend. I'm lost for words. So can we have a moment of silence? Okay. Love you, DJ Under. Gonna miss you, bro.
Absolutely.
So tonight, my special guest is the one, the only DJ, promoter, and sound man. I mean, he hire him for all three. Okay, the one and only Stephen Craig.
Peace and blessings.
What's up, bro? What's up?
Good. Let me first say, man, my condolences to you guys and the entire Trenton community. DJ Under was a good brother. Talked with him several times, and he was a good brother.
Yes, absolutely.
He's gonna be missed. Definitely.
Thank you, bro. We appreciate that. Definitely. So how are you, bro?
I'm good, man.
Okay. You got that fresh white tee on.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Come over here and look at you.
Okay.
No, man, I'm doing good, man. Mm-hmm. Just looking forward to Sum Up 25. Mm-hmm. It's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to go down.
Okay. Yeah. But before we get started, yep. I love saying this. Introduce yourself to the world, because we trying to go worldwide, baby, worldwide. So
worldwide,
let the people know who you are, bro.
Okay. My name is Stephen Craig, DJ Steve Craig. Running Househeads United, South Jersey. I also am the owner of Studio 501, recording studio, also in South Jersey, and originally from South Bronx, New York. And man, I've just been doing this for the last 46 years. Having fun.
Wow, that's the key word, have fun.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. So
that's it.
From the Bronx, South Jersey, and you doing it all, bro. You like that all around jack of all trades type of guy,
Yeah.
Which came first? Promotion, DJ, sound. What came first?
So I picked up my first record in 1975, and I was watching my older brother. He had these two turntables. He had the Lafayette receiver, and in watching him, he was my inspiration for doing it. And so picked up my first two records. Got through high school, started college, ran into some issues with the financial situation in college. So I went into the Army. When I went into the Army, I ended up down in Texas. And when they found out I was from New York and I could play music, got crazy. Real quick.
In Texas?
In Texas. Yeah, in the early 80s, wasn't a lot of DJs. So I went down there, put my spin on things, ran into another brother, Ronnie Lee Dunston. It's funny because Ronnie actually lives in Bolingbrook. Ran into him, and he took me under his wing. He was doing both stations, KIIZ and KLTD. So he brought me in one night, ended up on the air KLTD, and from there, that was it.
And that's when the DJ career
Yeah, it took off. You know, at one point, the funny part of it was that I was a DJ full time and in the Army part time because I was doing everything. I mean, in the 80s, so, you know, you had the USO tours and everything like that. I was doing all of that. I mean, in the 80s, you know, and it sounds crazy now, but I opened up for Heatwave. I opened up for Ray Brown. I opened up for, his brother's name, Roger Troutman and Zap. So all of those bands who were relevant back in the 80s, I was the DJ and I was going all over. At that point, I was in Germany, but I was going all over the country. Wherever they were moving to, you know, I was with it. Right? And we had a group also that was in my unit, and Germany, main general that was in Germany, you know, they pulled us out of the field. Y'all going to perform for the generals and all, you know, all the dignitaries. And so that was a running joke. It was like, yo, the DJ is your full time, the Army's your part time. Okay. But I had fun. I tell you, I had fun.
I can imagine get to travel the world and travel the world. Those, you know, those bands at the top high, you know, still high. Still high.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So DJing, because right, I'm thinking that we're DJing for them. And these are groups and bands, so that sound and everything got to be bright.
Yeah.
So that I'm sure that's where that sound stuff came. You picked up along the ways of working with these bands and groups.
Yeah. Well, you know, sound was always important to me. You know, I cut a record back in '84 in Germany. With a German producer, you know, same guys I was talking about the group, cut a record called Fall in Love Again. Learned a lot that was my first time in the recording studio. Learned a lot from it, you know, and I've just always been one to sit back, be quiet and soak up the knowledge. Right. So I brought that back, you know, and I'm gonna tell you what was crazy is that, you know, I told them back in '85, okay, I said, yo, we need to do a record where we have R&B and hip hop meet each other. They was like, man, that ain't gonna work. This. About 3 months later, you remember this record, the OJ's Have You Had Your Love Today? And they had a rapper that did 16 bars in the middle of the song. Everybody turned and looked at me, and I was like, I ain't gonna say no more. I told y'all. But I've always seen things and always tried to be on the cutting edge of what is going, how it's going, and just having fun doing it. Right. You know, just having fun doing it.
That record, you still have it
yeah, it's somewhere around.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You got playing one there.
Yeah.
100% I sure.
Yeah.
You can throw that joint on.
Yeah, but slow down.
Okay.
It makes some noise in Germany.
Okay.
You know, but then guys, you know, we all got sent different places. My friend Paul Stafford, he's a big jazz musician down in Houston area, you know, and so we all kind of went all over the place. Yeah, next time you get that, just look about. Yeah, definitely.
I haven't been home in a little bit, but I plan on going. But
yeah,
I definitely will.
Yeah, definitely.
And during that time, you was in Texas, and a lot of I mean, how should I say this? Those bands were hot, and a lot of music was a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, my time in Houston, Texas, a lot of house music wasn't a big thing.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, it was dance music, you know, and so it was dance music. It was hip hop. You know, the Nucleus, the Jam on It, Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock, all of that kind of stuff. That was your dance music, right? Then it's transitioned a little more. Then you got your Janet Jackson stuff. You got your deal with the body work and all of that kind of stuff. But that's what we were playing in the 80s. So that's what we wanted. You know, that's what we was doing, you know. Now, there was house music on the East Coast, but like I said, being overseas, a lot of it we didn't get. You know,
I thought Germany rocked off a lot of house.
Back then, but their house was more techno stuff. Right. It wasn't what we would consider house.
Soulful house.
Yeah, it was more techno stuff. Yeah.
And then we talking about back then. Back then, it was more like disco.
Yeah,
disco. It was more disco.
Disco was huge still. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, Army, DJing, you know, and like you said, of course, every DJ, every singer, performer, no matter what you're doing, sound is key. You know, sound is very important.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I had all types of hell up in here trying to get sound right at one point. So sound is key, and I feel you on that, you know. And I know you. I follow you on the book. I've been to your house and everything. And you take your sound seriously.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
It's a passion. Back in 13, we launched Free Agent Radio. I did that with DJ Cam, and it's just anything that ties me to sound, to music. Music's my therapy. Mm-hmm. You know, the music is my therapy. There's days when I'll go and I'll play a whole 60 set, you know, and everything like that. And it's just, I can just sit back and just enjoy it. You know, I can sit back and just enjoy it. Just have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now I know I never been in the studio, but I think you built a whole new studio.
Yeah, I took the second floor of a building in the Roebling area, and I built a studio. It's live drums. It's got keyboards. I mean, it's loaded. It's stacked. You know, and we're actually getting ready to finally. I'm getting ready to start some house out here. You know, I was talking to my nephew, Amir Brooks is my nephew, and I see him on the screen. And he told me, he was like, "Oh, I'm coming down to the studio." I said, "Man, come on down. Come on down. Let's get in there. Let's see what we can cook up. Let's have some fun doing it."
So, you know. You said you're going to start producing some house tracks. Right now, are you doing any producing right now, or people renting out the studio time? Or
so, what I did was, and what I do with everything, okay, I'm successful because I surround myself with mentors. Okay, I have a mentor for the studio. Shout out Caleb. Met Caleb through Tarsa, the manager down there. And when I went down there, I said to one of the other managers, I said, "These are help build the studio." They were like, "We got just got one." And I met Caleb, good brother. Okay, me and Caleb were hooked up, and the studio's just flourishing. You know, he plays in the rock band. We've got a lot of rock bands that are coming through there, and it just works, you know. As far as my sound, there again, I've got another mentor, Fred Tate, out of Philadelphia. I met Fred, and man, we just hit it off right away, you know. Last year when I did the House Music Festival, when we did the House Music Festival, I was parked 7 o'clock in the morning. Fred was there. "Man, where you at?" I said, "Fred, I'll be there in a few minutes." But these are brothers that are not afraid to share your knowledge. And, you know, like I've told a lot of the DJs, a lot of the sound guys, listen, okay, if you come to Fred, you come to Philly, Fred will take your system, we'll talk about what's good, what's not good, what we need to change, we'll tune it up, this or that. If you come to him, it won't cost you a dime, you know? However, we got to come to you, that is a different story, you know? So, but, you know, in everything that I do, I have a mentor, you know? Mm-hmm. Even when I started the house music thing back in 18, okay, after we decided we were going to do it, first call I made, Big John, you know? Promotions, you know? Knows the area, knows everybody, but what I know from promoting, what he knows from promoting, it took off right away. I mean, first party, we had 200 people, over 200 people show up. You know,
that's funny because that was one of my questions to tell me about the beginning of the relationship with you and Big John. You know, because you know I met you guys together. Yeah, and y'all been rocking, doing your thing ever since. You know.
Yeah, it's been 10, 11 years. You know, it's been 10 or 11 years. You know, Because when I originally moved out here, I didn't necessarily set out playing music. My daughters were going into their teenage years, so I needed to focus on what they were doing, you know, and I was concerned about them moving out of the city and leaving all their friends, but they adapted well. And then after that point, you know, I went down to the local BMW and this and that, and, you know, and it was funny because, you know, one guy was like, man, you from New York, we can't afford you. I was like, I ain't even gave you a price yet. Like, but no, you can afford me, you know. But I got my opportunity, and I came out. I just did what I did. If you play good music, everything else takes care of itself. And that's it. This ain't rocket science, you know. This ain't rocket science, you know. And I tell guys all the time, you know. The other day, Johnny M was like, how do you and Ray keep up with y'all music? I've always had this thing, whatever everybody else is playing, I need to go left. You know, because a record can be 4 or 5 years old, but there's some people that ain't heard this record. So people are always being introduced to new music. Yeah. That's it.
Right.
You know, that's it. It ain't rocket science.
Yeah, absolutely. You play good music, and you know, a cool individual. On top of that, you know, you definitely will get the love of the crowd. Definitely got to get the crowd partying. You know, that's a must too. So it's not rocket science, but I want to say everybody can't be a DJ. Some people try to be a DJ, but you know, it takes a little practice too. You know, it takes a little work, it takes a little practice, learning. Not so much of learning the music, it's just knowing when to drop this and drop that, and putting this together.
I will say this: if you put your effort into it, you can become a good.
Oh yeah, you can.
You know, it's funny because a lot of people don't know that I play music. You know, it's like we didn't know, but I'm always behind the scenes. You know, dealing with the venue, dealing with security, dealing with the sound. You know, and by the time I do all that, sometimes I'm wiped out. I'm like, I want to play no music. You know, but those things are just as important. You know,
right.
What we try to do is we try to provide the ultimate customer experience. When you come out, we want you to go back home saying, we had a good time, the music was good, the sound was good, bathrooms, the venue was clean, people, it was a great crowd. Right. That's the ultimate customer experience. That will make people come back. Absolutely. You know, it was these 2 ladies that came one night when I was doing some strip shows in the 90s. These 2 ladies like, oh no, we don't want to do that. I said, man, listen. I said, Genie. I said, come on. I said, guarantee you the guys will not touch you, this. And I said, I'll tell you what you do. It's your birthday. Y'all go ahead. I said, if you don't enjoy yourself, I'll give you your money back. Man, them ladies came out at the end of the night. They were like, baby, we had the best time. When's the next one? You know? Yeah. But I just want people to have fun.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I can sit back and people laugh and people talk about, did you see this? Did you see that? And that's it. That's where we go with it.
I also noticed that what you would do too, so that way you can have time to do because you got other jobs and other hats to take care of at the end of the night. I see that you'll start it off. You'll start the party off, hit some couple of sets, and then we get into, I guess, your main feature DJs, and then
the opening DJ is a very important job. He sets the pace. You know, a lot of DJs want to be the closer, but if the opening DJ hasn't set the pace, you know, then it just makes the closing DJ's job that much harder.
Right.
It makes it that much harder. I love opening because there again, I'm free to play whatever I want to play. I'm free to play, I'm free to go. The night that me and Steve Davis, I opened up with Steve Davis, I think it was 1 or 2 records that they have bumped head between the 2 sets. But I get to open up, I get to play my classics, my Phyllis Hyman, my MSFB. Then about 30 or 40 minutes in, I kind of move into the house. And then from there, take it and go. Now, your headliner is wide open.
Right.
He is wide open to go whatever direction he wants to go. He's got the whole crate, you know, because I haven't touched anything that he would have played.
You just buttering them up.
Yeah, just soften them up.
Just,
that's it, yeah. Soften them up.
And I like the way I never looked at it like that, but I like that.
Yeah.
I can play anything I want. Just get them the heads bobbing in the seats, and then boom, the headliner.
You know, me and Ray laugh now because what I do is when I get the music, I gotta hold it back from Ray. Because Ray will get it. Wherever it is, that Friday, that Saturday, Ray dropping it. Ray gonna hit him with it. You know, so Ray be like, oh, so you holding on? I said, yeah, if I play it, you can have it. Okay. But I gotta hold the ball. Ray go at it. Ray's a good brother, man. Without people like Ray, without people like John, I gotta throw Sandra Gore in there. Sandra, she's so important to me. Sean Clark. Without people like that, my job would be so much harder. You know, it would be so much harder. So I want to let y'all know, I appreciate you guys. You know, and that's it. You know?
Yeah. Hey, bro.
And there's more people, like I said, Fred Tate. You know, I can't say enough about this brother, man. I can't say enough about him. We were laughing a couple of weeks ago. So what Fred does is that when we get new equipment in, Fred will review it, talk about it, everything like that. Last month, he had 243,000 views. Fred's got guys calling him all over the world. I talk to him and ask questions, and he answers everybody's questions free. Okay. He shares the knowledge, you know. And I've gotten that too. So I tell him, what happened? You announced that you was doing your house event. What happened? I picked up the phone.
Yes, you did.
And I called you.
Anything you need.
And I said, anything that you need, I got you.
Yes, you did. And I appreciate you.
And we need to get back to doing that. Okay? We can all help each other. We can all survive. Right. It don't cost nothing to share a fire. It don't cost nothing to like. It don't cost anything to tell somebody you need to come here for this. Right. You know?
Absolutely right, bro. If I'm not mistaken, you might have been the very first one that hit you up as soon as that flyer came out. Yeah. But you boom, right up like, Steve go, okay, but I appreciate you. I thank you, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and speaking of the team, the names that you just mentioned, who I see always there, not just supporting, rocking with you, helping put the word out, and you know. And I gotta bring up the number one spot. I think it's the number one spot that's rocking in the area right now. Bunos. I had the pleasure to come down. I think it was Stephen's birthday. Yeah, it was birthday, and man, I danced my butt off that night, man. I danced my butt off. Well, first of all, it was a very nice spot, classy. Real roomy, you could dance, but I'm gonna let you tell us a little bit about Bunos, bro.
So, I mean, Bunos, St. Florence, it's a nice spot. You know, thing I try to tell people, we gotta support, okay? Because number one, we don't own too many spots, okay? And then when we do get a spot, people don't come out and don't support. That one time that they will decide, okay, I'm going to come out and support, and they look up and the spots are no longer rocking. Then they be like, oh man, I missed it, this and that. Listen, we got to support. I go out, I pop up, you know, and that's important. It's so important because there again, you know, we don't get these opportunities too often. So when we get them, we got to go, you know. When I get in my car, you was managing the bar at Trent. You looked up, I was coming through the door. You like, man, what you doing? Man, listen. Yeah. You know,
somebody just hit me up and saying about the rock music. I mean, they still heard it, but we want to make sure they hear every word. Chandra, thank you. Appreciate you for that. Mine all over the place today, but
so you know, I try to go somewhere at least once a month. You know, especially you know, Johnny M popped up. We looked up. Uh, Last week, a week before last, I looked up. Johnny M came through the door. So I said, "Come on, man, sit down here, man. Y'all get Johnny M some of this brisket." Johnny M ate that brisket. It's like, man, this is gonna be a slow trip home. So that's all right. That's what cruise control is for. Right. But I try to get out. I try to support other DJs. Try to support other promoters because the support is important. We have to support each other. If we don't support each other, nobody's going to support us. You know, and that's so important.
And and speaking of support, now here we go. Because we've seen some things on Facebook, crazy stuff. You know, people made it seem like there was a beef with South Jersey, and I don't know. I don't want to put the wrong names out there, but you remember that little something was going on Facebook? Somebody trying to make something out of the whole house music industry with different sections.
Yeah, and so I won't play into it. Mm-hmm. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's one Jersey. You know, we do things a little differently down here than what they may do up in North Jersey. The music may be a little different down here. Well, I'm not going to say the music may be a little different down here. The music is a lot different down here. In my opinion, and in the opinion of others, you're free to play a lot more music down here that may not go over up north. I know when DJ Nubian, when she came from Brooklyn, she was like, I love this. She was like, I played stuff that I can't play in Brooklyn. She's like, the crowd just loved it. And I've heard that from other DJs, but it's just music, you know? And so wherever, as a good DJ, wherever the crowd takes you or whatever the crowd gives you, continue to give it to them. You know? Yeah. Continue to give it to them. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Saturday night, Amir played, my nephew, and he came back with that Karen Young. I can't think of the name of it. But man, he played so much stuff, and he was all over the place. He just let it go. Right. You know, and he moved in and out of the house. He moved in and out of the disco. He just, you know, and we had a ball.
If your crowd is feeling it, I feel like if your crowd feeling it, that's when you want to sample some new stuff. You know, I'm like, oh, they rocking up there. You know what? Let me throw this so and so in here and see the vibe I get. See if they still going off this. That's your time to throw in that new stuff. Take a chance. Throw something on that somebody else ain't even playing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I always been as a DJ. But you know, I brought that question up about this whole situation being that you're right. We're all Jersey, and we only hop and skip from each other. Yeah. And me personally, I love all types of music. So as long as the music bumping, you know, whether I'm in New York, whether I'm in Houston, whether I'm in South Jersey, North Jersey, whatever. To me, house music is house music. It makes me feel good. I want to rock and party. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I definitely coming to your house festival event that you guys got going on as well. And not just there. I was trying to make it to Houston April. Because, you know, they had the event down there. A couple people went down there. But, you know, house music is house music all over the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like the word that you use, support. Why can't we just all support each other? You know what I'm saying? Or support each other, help each other, see what we could do to help maybe your event, maybe another 50 more people added to your event.
Listen,
vice versa.
Here's what I think, especially down on this end of Jersey. North Jersey has something going on every weekend. Down here, we don't, you know. And so my thing is, I would love to try to get everyone together because we can build on this. Right, you know, right. We can build a platform where there's no need for somebody to have to drive 60 or 70 miles to get house music when we can do it down here. Okay, you're doing your event, we're doing events. Barry B does the park out in Trenton. Okay, Mark does his event. There's no need why everybody can't join together as a collective, as a unit, to support each other. I agree. It is what it is. Right. You know, we should be able to. Right. You know I love going to some of the big events, but man, after you've been in the park all day, you know. And I did my little two-step. Now I got to drive an hour plus to get home. And, you know, it's we can make this happen.
Yes. You know, I would love for all to get together and get the arena. You know what I'm saying? Get the arena. Get one big joint where we just. Oh man,
let me tell you about that.
I me and Big John had a conversation about that.
So back in 21, I came up with this idea. It was COVID was going on. I was like, I'm gonna do a party outdoors. So I went and got Mercer County Park. Okay. And then I started assembling what I considered one hell of a lineup, in which I got phone calls from Jersey didn't like the lineup, but New York, Juan Kuhn called me from Connecticut, was like, yo, if that show was in Connecticut, you'd have all the money. You'd be sold out. Let me see if I can remember who was on that show. Graham Hoover, Belly Mel, Kenny Bolian. I got Johnny Gill.
Johnny Gills, that's it. I was.
Who else was on that show?
What's up, Kevin McAllister?
It was like 3 other acts on the show. When I say it was stacked, it was stacked. And so, but we only sold 1,000 tickets in advance. And 1,000 tickets in advance wasn't going to do it. Now, I'll talk to the promoters and I'll tell you, you're not a promoter until you lose somebody. I lost 25,000 on that show. And it was okay. What the customers got to understand, when you go out and you lay money out for these things, it's important to support them. You know, and I lost 25,000. I got it back. You know, but I did lose it. And that's part of the growth process.
Yeah, that's as a promoter.
It's gonna happen. And if you're afraid to lose some money,
you shouldn't be in the game.
You should be on the game. Don't. You know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've had nights, where I came home and threw $5,000-$6,000 cash on the bed. Then there's nights I had to be like, yo, let me go to the bank, stick this card in, and it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Absolutely. But it's part of the game.
I want to send a big shout out to Edward Ward. What's up, bro?
Eddie Ed.
Kevin
2025 house music DJ.
Okay. Kevin McAllister, DJ Kev.
Peace, Kev.
What's up, Kev? Chandra, thank you again. Yeah. Thank you again. Appreciate you. As a promoter, bro, I had days where, but hey, that's a chance you take. And again, that's why, you out here promoting. You promote. You lose. Yeah. It comes with the territory. Yeah. So, B-Uno's in Florence is rocking. When is the next date for B-Uno's?
So, B-Uno's, we're up in the air about whether we're going to do June or not. Because June 7th, Chilex has his joint up in Linden, and they moved from the park. They're going to be on the waterfront. Mm-hmm. So as of June, everybody starts being outdoors.
Okay.
I've had some people ask me to continue to do it through the summer, but the end's got to justify the means. If people are going to be outdoors, I don't see people being outdoors for 7, 8, 9 hours in that sun baking, and then be like, okay, I'm going to go home, get a shower, and go back to the club. I don't see that. Right, so I think what we're going to do is that we're just going to suspend, and then we'll be back in October. Okay. But while we're suspending indoors, we're going outdoors.
I was getting to that.
Going outdoors, yeah. So this one's going to be a doozy too. I think it's going to be fun. June 29th, mm-hmm. doing it in the park. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. Burlington County Fairgrounds. All right. Myself and Ray, we're going to start out playing the 60s. So we're going to rock everything from the 60s going into the 70s. And then at that point, Johnny M steps in and he's going to pick up from the 70s, take us into the 80s. All that great music.
Okay.
Disco era. He's still going to get some of the James Brown stuff.
Right.
And then from there, Father Ramsey, Trent native, Father Ramsey picks up the 80s. He's going to take us into the 90s. Okay. Then at that point, our ringer, legendary DJ Steve Davis, has open format. Steve will be able to, wherever Steve want to go with it, that's how we come it out of the park.
Now, doing it in the park, June 29th will be a mixture of all music.
A mixture of all music.
Okay.
You know, we had a lot of people saying, why only house music? So I said, you know what? Me and John, we talked about it. Me, John, and Ray, we said, you know what? All right, let's do this. We have the festival set because those dates are locked. Let's take another date, and let's see what the support from the community is going to be on this. You know, in addition to that, I reached out to some of the line dance instructors. Okay, there's going to be a line dance trail ride segment. That will also happen, where they'll have the dance floor to be able to go through the dances and this and that. And it's just going to be all around a great thing. Trying to get somebody, I need somebody to sponsor the volleyball. I'm going to put a volleyball tent up. Need somebody to sponsor that. Need somebody to sponsor the cornhole. We're going to have cars. We're going to play spades. So we just going to make it a good, you know, it's going to be a good family day. Music and fun. With all of the craziness in the world, we need this right now. We need this right now. You know, they try to take so much away from us and erase so much from our history. They ain't gonna be able to erase this one. All right, they're not gonna be able to erase this one here. And I'm calling on everybody. Yo, let's shut 206 down. Okay, let them see us out. Let them see that we can have a great time and we can have fun. No drama. Let's show them this. You can no cooking out, no grills. We got food trucks. There'll be vendors. There'll be desserts in the park. We have real bathrooms. We've got real bathrooms. Okay. And so Crystal Ballum, she does a lot of work with Johnny M up at Deltas. She'll be down for line dancing, and also Yvonne Williams. And Yvonne is down on this end of town.
That's
so both of them will be there. We're gonna give them ample time to do what they do. You know, and we just gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy it. And we're gonna talk about it. And then after that, we're gonna shift it into gears. And for this year, for the House Music Festival, got a little twist coming. Got a little twist coming.
And so, could you shoot those dates for the House Music Festival?
August 23rd. August 24th.
Y'all got both dates?
I've got both dates.
Okay.
I tried to scale it back to one day, and everybody was fussing. You gave us 2 days last year. How y'all gonna give us one day? So I was like, all right.
Don't start nothing.
So, you know, we've got 2 days, and I put a spin on it. And so I'm trying to decide if, you know what, the hell with it. I'll put it out there. Day one, it's going to be an all-female DJ lineup. So that Saturday, it's going to be female hosts, female DJs, all-female represent for the ladies.
Okay.
On Sunday, the guys will take
guys to it. Okay, I like that. Like that.
Nice. Trying to come up with something a little different. Right. You know, and everybody, a lot of people doing the same thing, and they're following the same ways. Even this year, opening up good brother Jonathan Lewis out in Long Island. He's coming down to spend this year. I've got another blockbuster DJ coming. I can't call his name until he signs his contract, of course. You know, but you know, we're going to have Eddie Ed's on this year. So Chuck Nice, DJ out of South Jersey, nice, but he don't get to play out that often. So I was like, you know what, you on this year, come on down. You know, so we're gonna try to open it up. You know, give some brothers opportunities, and that's that. You know, and also DJs too. Guess what? Y'all gotta come out. I get so many DJs that are in their cribs, they're playing, and they may be nice, but if we don't get to hear you out, you got to get out somewhere, somehow, and so to open it up, and I will. I don't have a problem. If you can play music, I'll get you on at some point, somewhere, somehow,
right.
And in addition to that weekend, I am going to try to see if we can kick it off with something that Friday. Free event outdoors that Friday before we go to the park on Saturday and Sunday. So we try to do an after work thing. I'm going to talk to the venue, see what the venue thinks. And if they love it, then.
So if you're coming from out of town, get a hotel at the where? Room at the.
So what used to be the Best Western is now the Baymont. You have the Hilton. You have the Marriott over there. I'm going to get all the information for the hotels.
Okay.
I'm going to see about negotiating a rate that they can be happy with. We can be happy with,
right.
And we just want everybody to come out and have a good time.
And have a good time, and most importantly, be safe.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Leaving here, like you said, you could be tired, hot.
Yeah.
Go back to the hotel, take a shower, relax, get ready for day 2. I mean, hell, I ain't coming from out of town, but getting a hotel sounds like a good idea to do. But I might just get a room, just chill down there,
Yeah, it's definitely, we're going to have fun this year.
Okay.
We have fun every year. Last year was crazy.
Yeah, I think I just gave you a party plug situation just now.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that hotel party sound pretty good.
You know what? Somebody already asked.
Okay.
We're going to do an after party after the park.
Yeah.
Last year, okay, as many people don't know, I slept in that park all night. I slept in the park.
But you never moved your stuff.
I never moved it. It takes to put the big sound system up. It takes me a good 2.5 hours to wire it on. And so I was like, I'm not taking this down.
I don't blame you, bro.
I'm not taking it down. So I slept in the park. And the plan this year, the good Lord bless me. I'll have my new trailer, and I'm gonna pull my trailer right in the park. Once everybody's out of the park, we lock the gates. I'm going in my trailer, turn on my TV, take it down.
Okay.
Then when the birds start chirping, I'll get up, and we got to do it all over again. And shout out to everybody last year. We seek donations for these free events that are not free. Okay? Now, let me say that again. We seek donations for these free events that are not free. When you guys go to these events and you're outdoors and you're in these parks, somebody paid for that. Somebody paid for it. Okay? You have the park, you have insurance, you have the DJs that have traveled to get there, you feed the DJs, they're there all day. My security team is second to none. They're all over the place. I've even got a guy that cleans the bathrooms. The ladies love the fact that we've got real bathrooms. Well, guess what? I pay a guy to keep those bathrooms clean. Paper in the bathrooms.
Chandra said, parking fee or no parking fees for parks?
There will be a parking fee.
Okay.
There will be a parking fee. I have to pay for the parking lots. So I pay for the park. I pay for the parking lots. I pay for the insurance. Okay. Last year, gave them $2 million insurance policy. Okay. So, when we charge a small parking fee, we ask for donations. Okay. There's a reason for all of that, And so, I'm not going to shortcut anything in the process, because there again, I want it to be the ultimate customer experience. There is nothing for me more satisfying is when I'm in a supermarket, somebody yells out, "Yo, that party was dope last weekend." For me, and I sit back and I laugh at it. And then, the time that happened, somebody else turned to me and said, "What party? What did I miss?" I said, "Oh, we were out in Burlington County." "That was you?" I said, "Yeah, that was me." And so I get like I said, the music is my therapy. I get my joy out of that. I get my joy out of that. I get my joy out of the other DJs talking about, yo, the crowd was crazy. I loved it. All of that's important to me. You know, all of that's important to me. I love it.
Your passion, bro.
Yeah, my passion.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Since day one I met you guys, always been supportive of me. Well, I definitely try to support you guys, and
we appreciate
always hitting each other up. You and Big John, anything in that area lifts. Man, come down to so and so down South Jersey. Wait, ho. That's Big John and Steven in them. I don't know you like that, bro. Nah, I'm only kidding. But you guys, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, y'all don't stop. I did. When do you sleep, bro?
I sleep honestly I get about 6 good hours a night. That's if I can turn my brain off. There are times when 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. An idea will come in my head, and I grab my phone and I go to my notes and I jot down because I have to, Once I get up in the morning, I'm going, I got the garage situation I'm dealing with. I'm taking calls about the recording studio. We're dealing with the sound. And speaking on the sound, got some new toys for y'all this year. Okay. I got some new toys for y'all. Last year at the end of the festival, I put my whole sound system up for sale, everything except for the amp rack. So all of my JBL subs, all of my tops, everything is gone. And there's going to be a total brand new sound system.
And real quick, he is for hire for sound. He is for hire for sound. So, you got these events coming up and you want that knockout banging situation. Trust me, I seen the big trailer, of all the stuff that he brings out. So he is for hire. So hit him up if you're looking for that big sound. And he done sound for events here in Trenton, as well. So
shout out Force. That's what Force the other night. Positive Force.
The old school hip hop event. Okay.
We do that event.
And did you do sound for Gita and them under the pavilion one year? I think was that under the pavilion.
I did Force, and I did one event for somebody else. I can't remember who it was.
Barry B.
Barry does his own sound. But I came out. I came out to help Barry tweak his system.
Okay.
Barry purchased speakers for me.
Okay.
And like I said there again, I tell all the guys, listen, if you need something and I got it, just call me. It is what it is, And so, I try to tell people I like to build relationships. I met Mac the first year that I did Linden. They wanted some decks. I didn't have the decks. Chillax was like, yo, I'll call Mac. And, Mac brought his decks out, met Mac, man, great brother, 100%. And there's a bunch of cats that, but see, I get along with everybody. When you get along with everybody, and as I go through, when I meet these guys, I got to hook up with Kevin McAllister. We've been trying to get the link up so we can get Kevin down to play. We just haven't been able to get him yet. But, we going to make that happen. We going to figure it out.
If Kev's still watching. Oh, Barry B, what's up, B? Be on. But Kev is the hardest working DJ in America. And then he retired. I think he's still the hardest working.
He working even hard now. Yeah. He even moving equipment or he moving that lawnmower. He's on the go.
Kev, you watching, bro? We chopped it up, so we gotta get that date. I need you in this chair, bro. Okay.
Nah, but I really have to say, I've met some dope DJs from up north and everybody, and I'm humble, man. I'm appreciative, and I don't have to play music because I'm surrounded by all these great DJs, and so and then with the addition of me and Ray hooking up, I don't have to play, Ray gets in there, Ray knocks out. Ray was just up north, he played with Chillax, and man, like I said, I'm just having fun.
Hey, well, first of all, as the promoter, you already your head is on the swivel, trying to make sure everything is going right, the party's going right. You might have to, you might have stepped in one time or another to a DJ. Yo, I need you to take it to another level. You watching the floor, you watching the door.
You know what? I really don't have to do that. If a DJ understands the assignment, you never have to talk to him. But see, and in saying that, this is why I say the DJs, they talk about, oh, I want to come and play. Like, there's a DJ locally, okay? He's been telling me now for 2 or 3 years, okay, that, yo, when you gonna put me on? I need you to come meet the house music community. Come meet the crowd, because you can't, like, if I go to play out of town, okay, I'm on the ground with somebody that's in that area. What's the hottest joints? What are they listening to? What do I stay away from? Because if you look at it, when I'm on the road, I can tell you right now, the music from New York to Philly changes. It changes again in Baltimore. It changes again in DC, and it changes again in Virginia. Okay? So in that 375-mile stretch, the music has changed 5 times. So if you think that, okay, I'm just going to leave and do what I do in Jersey, I'm going down to Virginia, it may not work. It may not work. So it's important for DJs to do your work.
But I know you said, DJs want to come out, they want to play. You're not just going to put anybody on stage. You ain't hear them play. You don't know their work. You're just not going to throw them on stage. Eventually, it's like, hey, come around. You could meet us, but I want to hear you play too now.
Somebody hit me up and wanted to know if they can get on the festival this year. So I said, okay, I need you to send me something. Okay, because I need to hear you. I don't know.
Right.
Business is business.
Right.
So I played it. I slept on it. I played it again, and I slept on it. And I just don't think they're a good fit. Not personal, but we're in year 3. Every year, the lineup has been elevated.
And your name is on this. You don't want to,
Well, I got it now. Because somebody say something like Big John both of them. They're like, them Big John people. So I got it now.
Okay.
No, but it's really important, to get out, support, shake a couple of hands, meet people.
That's for the DJs that want to grow, that want to go beyond than just tiny little spot here. If you want to be that DJ and learn other avenues, other venues of music, you got to branch out. You got to support. You got to pop up here. You got to pop up there. The only way you're going to get these sets or gigs or jobs, you got to come out. You got to come out, because nobody's knocking on your door saying, hey, I need a DJ.
You got to come out. You got to study. And so back to Johnny and Friday night, he said, man, he was like, you all right with the music? Hey, listen, when I'm sitting in the shop or I'm in my car, I will seek out and listen to other DJs, because you'd be surprised what you pick up. You're like, yo, I like that. The music is so vast. There's so much music out there that them cats over in South Africa, cats putting out some music, cat that I listen to a lot out of Baltimore, DJ Spivey. Brothers on point. Remixes a lot of stuff, puts out a lot of good music, and so I'm always open to listen to,
As you see,
yeah,
I I go on YouTube a lot. I listen to a lot of DJs. They may not be big name DJs, but I may be listening to one here, one there, because it's some stuff I'm still learning. I'm listening to, trying to, all right, that's cool. But you're right. Do your research, come out, support, shake hands, because DJing is an everyday learning situation. every day. Every day you learning something new, you know. So, but I totally agree with you, bro. Totally agree. Yep.
And let me say this to some promoters too. Don't be afraid to go out and knock on some doors. That's how we find these venues. You know, once one promoter gets the venue, then here comes everybody else behind them. All the other promoters want to get the same venue, want to get in the same venue. You know, and so don't be afraid to go and search out. You know, because you never know. Right now, especially now, it's like really a good time because a lot of businesses are hurting. A lot of venues are hurting. A lot of restaurants, this and that. If you can't get on, create your own lane. Create your own lane. You got to start somewhere.
Right.
You got to start somewhere. Don't be afraid to step out there.
Right. Because, you know, in Trenton, we used to have 30 bars.
Yeah.
Now we down to maybe 3. You know, and I you know, but we got spots similar to like a Blueno's, Crab du Jour, y'all, because y'all was doing events there at one point.
Yeah, we did. Okay. We did Crab du Jour for a year and a half every Friday. You know, and that was cool. Not a little hangout, you know. And I had somebody that made a comment. They were laughing about it, you know. But you know, there's always a need for your services somewhere, you know. And so, you know, my thing was like, okay, that worked for me. At the end of the day, you know, I was laughing one night because John was like, he peeped it. He's like, man, they bring that check out to you. You don't even have to ask them for that check. Like, yeah, man, because they understand what we bring to the table. You know, if you got a small spot, you can get 30 or 40 people to come in there and stay 3 hours eating and drinking. They've made their money. So they ain't a problem with writing the check. I ain't a problem with writing the check.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and that's with anything that you do. There again, I go out, I support others, brothers come down, spend money with me, I go up and spend money with them. That's what we got to do, you know. And you know, and even with free events, all free events really should be back because it's free. It's not like you're paying the door charge, then you got to spend money across the bar or at the restaurant or whatever. It's a free event, so just come on out. You know, even if you have one drink, have something to eat, you have a soda, this and that, it all counts towards the DJ's bottom line. Because it comes down to, I'm paying this DJ, but do my receipts support and be paid?
Right.
If it does, it's a great situation.
Right.
If it doesn't, you'll look up and that DJ will be gone. You'll be like, what happened? You know what happened. You know? And so, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, listen, I've been in this 46 years. I've tried to retire. I've sold system after system after system, and I keep getting pulled back in.
It's your love, your passion, bro. You know what I'm saying?
In my blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in my blood.
Yeah.
It's in my blood. And I love my music.
Right,
you know? Right. So, and it's just, you know, I've had cats. So, you know, just to backtrack, and I don't talk to a lot of people about this but I've done Madison Square Garden. Okay. One of my business partners is IEC from Soul Sonic Force. Okay. Sometimes when Soul Sonic goes out, I'll travel with them. Okay. Popular record, me and Ike own Footwork, World Tracks. That's our record. You know. But I don't talk about a lot of that, you know, because like I said, sometimes it's better just to move behind the scenes. And like I try to tell people a lot of times, to do behind the scenes, especially like if I go out with artists, I'm just as important as the artist is. Because I don't collect the artist's money, they ain't going on stage. Now we got a problem.
Right.
Or we'll show up to the venue, we're going to sit outside these trucks until this money come out.
Right.
You know, so it's, you know, surround yourself with a good team and have fun doing it. Just have fun doing it.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
It ain't hard. I'm appreciative to every DJ that's came through El Portico, that's came through Crab du Jour, that's came through Smokehouse in Willingboro. that came out for the festivals. I'm appreciative to every DJ. But number one, you didn't have to do it. Okay?
Right.
And so, one night Steve Davis calls, hey man, they gotta come down to play Craft Digital. I was like, Steve, are you really asking us that? Like, you really need an invitation to come down. Man, just come on down. Any DJ that want to come play Smokehouse, come on down. Mook hit us up on Sunday. Yo, what you doing Friday? Can I come play Friday? Yes, come and play.
There you go.
You pick a Friday, get your hard drive. Come on down. Come on down.
I'm retired.
Yeah, you ain't retired. No, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, you know what, maybe I will take my boy. No, but that's it, That's it, I hit Barry B. I was like, yo, Barry, I'm waiting on my invitation to come play the Park and Trend, He's like, yeah, we're going to be working on that. I'm waiting on my invitation.
Right.
But sometimes, you got to speak up. You don't speak up, close mouth, don't get fed. So, you got to.
Hey, that's it. That's it.
But I love what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm appreciative to all the DJs, to everybody who's helped. Because there again, every scenario is not always about being out front.
No,
it's not about being out front. The guys that do the flyers, the guys that, everything, the girls do so much behind the scenes with helping. And I appreciate it. And sometimes they may not feel that way. Sometimes maybe I don't say it enough, but I really do. I appreciate everybody.
See, peoples, I heard it right here on the One Love Entertainment podcast. Steven said he appreciates and love y'all.
I do.
See,
I do. I appreciate the patrons that come out that support what we're doing. Because there again, there's no me without them. And let's grow this thing. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it better. Okay, and let's continue because we got us. And so that's where we at.
Well, bro, I want to say I wish you nothing but continued success.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing, promoting the shows, DJing, everything you do, bro. I wish you nothing but the best, man. And
thank you, bro.
I want to thank you for coming on to the show and and spreading the love, man. Thank you, man. And thank you for that cool the flyer you made.
I set out. I was spending a ton of money on flyers, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go buy the program. Bought this program, gave it to Sergeant Gore. I was like, all right, we got it. Let's go. And she was doing the flyers at first, and then I was like, you know what? Let me start tinkering around with this thing. So
okay.
And the more that you tinker with it, you start picking it up, right? More familiar with it and this and that, and you go.
Yeah, I definitely love that.
You do what you got to do and hit download.
You took the logo and you had yourself say, I said, damn, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the. I guess we'll chop it up about that another time. Because I'm into wanting to change the whole advertisement flyer up anyway. Because I just put things together to advertise. But I like what you done.
Whatever help you need, you know what to do. Dial me. I've built radio stations. I've built sound systems. I've built out clubs, and so the sound is just my thing.
Right.
And so. And that's it. And this new system.
June 29th.
Doing it in the park.
Come on out.
Doing it in the park.
Doing it in the park.
Doing it in the park. Once again, the lineup. Okay. Myself and Ray gonna start off playing 60s. Johnny M's gonna pick up the 70s. Okay. Father Ramsey's gonna pick up the 80s. Steve Davis is gonna pick up the 90s and whatever else he wants to do. Okay, Yvonne Williams, Crystal Ballum will be doing the line dance segment of the day. There's going to be some spades playing, some cornhole. Try to get that volleyball net out there. There's going to be food trucks, dessert trucks. There'll be vendors,
paramedics truck.
Yeah.
Those playing volleyball.
Security. Maybe we'll do badminton. Maybe we'll do something.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be a full day. And we want everybody to come out, have a good time, stay hydrated, and we're just going to have fun. and that's it.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
So, don't stop dancing. It's good exercise. Get my exercise, moving equipment. But let's do this, man.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So I will definitely be out there with a pop-up tent.
Yeah.
And just to kick back and listen to some old school tunes.
Yeah.
And have a good time.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
So I thank you, Mr. Craig, Stephen Craig.
Sandra. She puts on Reed, whatever it was that she...
Sandra said, we appreciate and love you too. Keep the events coming. People are giving feedback.
Oh, I love it. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, Derek, listen, I understand without you guys' support that it means it's nothing. I'm just another guy without the support of the people that make me want to do and continue to grow and be bigger and do bigger things.
Right.
And that's important.
Right.
And that is important. And one of these days I'm going back to get Mercer County Park again. And we should be able to, this year I'll be in Chicago, traveling with Amir and my cousin, we're going out, we're going to be out in Chicago with Terry Hunter and them this year. And there's no reason why Jersey shouldn't have its own chosen few. We got some big events up in North Jersey, but I want our event down here in South Jersey to be the premier event for this part of the state, the southern part. That's not to take away from anybody else. I want to see everybody succeed. I just want to put my own spin on what it is that I'm doing. But at the same time, any of the promoters, if you need help, I'm only a phone call away. Call me. And so I'll put that out there. So, that's where I'm going to leave it at.
Okay. Well, we're going to get out of here. It's been a pleasure. I thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Hey,
listen, I'll be looking for you to come to the Smokehouse. All right?
Oh, but you give me the date for the Smokehouse.
Man, every Friday we there.
My bad. Come to the Smokehouse every Friday after work.
Yeah, after work. Well, we start playing. We play 8 to 11.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sandra, can you grab Toots' picture, grab his picture, and put it on the flyer? Just pick a date. And what we gonna do is we just gonna put it out there, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I gotta go."
You know what? She mess around, might do that too.
Yeah, we gonna do it. But no, man. Listen, man, you should come on out, man.
Listen,
you play some good music.
I'm gonna come hang out. Me and my buddies, DJ House. We gonna come hang out.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll talk shop.
House, Bigger Friday. Come on down and hang out. Yeah. Come on down with your hard drive and come on down. I said it every DJ. Listen, we having fun.
Absolutely.
And not every Friday do I want to be playing. Sometimes I just want to sit back and swing chicken bones. And,
Just
let everybody else just have fun. Let everybody else play. Well, let's do it.
I'm gonna check the schedule for this week. If I ain't building something or cutting somebody's grass or something, definitely.
The bathrooms.
But bro, I thank you for coming on, man.
I really appreciate you.
So with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to One Love Entertainment Podcast. Spread the word, spread the love, you dig. I thank y'all, appreciate y'all. Tune in every Monday. YouTube, subscribe, please. Yes. One Love Entertainment Pod. Took Williams, One Love Entertainment Pod. Subscribe on our YouTube channel, please. And again, I thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. God bless. One love.
Peace.
Peace.
We'll see y'all out in the parks this summer.